Welcome, everyone. It is a lovely Tuesday. It is lovely, even though it is gray outside and rainy. It was rainy and thundering yesterday. But alas, here we are. A lovely Tuesday morning. Neville Goddard said something very interesting. Neville Goddard said that creation is finished. What does that mean? Well, if you go by the principle of cause and effect, every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. A cause does not linger to find an effect, and an effect does not have to wait upon a cause because it already has one. So if a cause has an effect has a cause, then creation is finished. Because we're not creating things anymore. We're choosing causes to bring about effects. We're choosing effects to bring about causes. So in that case, someone asked a question. I saw it posted where they asked if destiny is fixed, why even have a purpose? It's not that destiny is fixed. It is not fixed. Your destiny is based upon your choices. Cause and effect. Destiny is based upon your causes and effects. You choose to do this. You choose to do that. And based upon your choices, you will do things. And if you keep making the same type of choice, you get the same type of effect. Thereby, it looks like destiny. Your choices create your destiny. See, sometimes I think we think that destiny is something otherworldly. Ooh, you get to choose your destiny. We choose. And that is what brings about the destiny. The destination, where you're going, how you're going to do it. How you do something is based upon the choice that you make. The choice that you make is governed by the present mood that you habitually occupy. I tell you the same thing every day in a different way slightly so that you get it. Because sometimes I think if we got it, we would not falter as much as we do. We keep thinking that situations are unique or special. No, situations are simply situations. And we find ourselves in situations based upon the mental mood that we habitually occupy. And because we habitually occupy that mood, well, then it only plays out in one way. That mood, if you can pinpoint how you feel, and you can pinpoint how you feel most of the day, you will begin to understand why you have the types of experiences in your life. Some people ask, well, how did I bring that about? You brought that about by way of your predominant feelings, I shouldn't even say predominant, but your habitual, what you habitually feel. If you get up every day, you know how they say it? They say, oh my God, you're living in fight or flight, in a heightened state of anxiety, fight or flight. Because you're living in that state, the experiences are going to match that state. Not because you have attracted the experiences, but because you have pushed the experience out of yourself. As within, so without. As above, so below. There's only one thing, not two. You see, there's only one thing. The same thing that is above is the same thing that is below, because it comes from what is above. There's only one thing above. So let's put it, like I told you yesterday, like your garden. If you're planting corn in the garden, the seed you put into the ground has to emerge. And the only thing that emerges is what was put into. So if your habitual mental attitude is anxiety, depression, all of those things that we don't like, if that's the habit, because really that's what it is. It started as something, as an experience, right? That's how it started. And why does it continue? It continues because we do not see the connection between our mental attitude and the experience. We think the experience is happening on the outside, when in actuality, the experience originated on the inside. It originated on the inside. Look at you see, thoughts are not there to be judged. Thoughts are not there to make you feel any particular way. Thoughts are there to show you the type of mood that you are in. Your thoughts show you the mood you are in. So if your thoughts are dark and gloomy, that is your mood. And remember this, we know exactly how to change our mood. We sometimes turn to our favorite song. Do we not? We always know how to change our mood. We also know how to perpetuate our mood. This is why certain songs exist. Sad movies always make me cry. That song. Rolling like thunder, and I guess that's why they call it the blues. Da 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 da. Great melody, but depresses. Look at the types of things that we listen to, and you would understand what I'm saying. If you go to Barbados, um, there's it's a certain rhythm, a certain feeling, you know. Sometimes the songs are really racy, you know. But if you think about it, songs help us with our mood. Music helps with our mood. It helps to lift our mood. Even if you have a particular favorite hymn, and the one that everybody comes to is Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, right? People have that one, right? So if you look through your life, you will see that you have been changing your mood. You've been changing your mood. Or you have been facilitating the mood. Well, I'm too sad to listen to anything happy right now, so I'm just going to listen to sad songs. Right? Adam Levine is one. Maroon 5. I am in misery. There ain't nobody who can comfort me. Oh, yeah. Right? Great song. Because the tempo is fantastic. But listen to what he is declaring in the song. One of the fastest ways to get something into you is by way of singing. And when a song gets stuck in your head, when that song gets stuck in your head, right? What are you singing? Now the song puts you in a mood. And the mood will dictate the thoughts. So don't judge your thoughts. Don't say, oh my God, my thoughts are intrusive. No. Just watch them. Because they tell you something about yourself. Thoughts aren't random. You see, if we sit and we reminisce all the time about what used to be, how do you feel? What's your mood when you sit and you reminisce about what used to be? You feel nostalgic. Sometimes you might feel sad. But just pay attention to what you do. Because there's a saying, the devil is in the details. It is that small detail that we miss. We don't ever examine our mood. We just go with it. Some people ask me, Angela, why are you always in a good mood? Trust me, I am not always in a good mood. You live with me long enough, you'll figure that part out. I'm not always in a good mood. Sometimes I am incredibly cranky. But I know why. I'm annoyed at dishes in the sink. Oh my God. I cannot handle it. Because if I want to come in there and cook something, I have to clean first. I don't like that. Finish the task. Finish cleaning up first. That way it is always clean. So it goes for anything. I don't like seeing clutter, but for some reason it's there and it agitates. Right? You've got to recognize what you feel like. Because that's the most important thing there is. When you recognize what you feel like. If you're walking around with feelings of inadequacy and you are in a relationship and you're like, in the back of your mind, you're like, man, there's something better, you know. What do you think is going to come out of your mouth in that relationship? Well, they're not going to be compliments, I'll tell you that. Seriously, pay attention to how you feel. Because that mood is there to show you. Because this is why Neville Goddard says creation is finished. The mood will bring about the thoughts. The thoughts will bring about the words. The words will bring about the action. The action will bring about the habit. And the habit will bring about your destiny. This is what we miss all the time. Because sometimes I think it is painful to realize that it is our own mental attitude that creates mental anguish within ourselves. Think about it for a moment. You or I are in pain emotionally because somebody hurt our feelings. But that person, that incident has passed. But because we remember the incident, the pain is fresh. So where is the pain coming from? Is the pain coming from the person? Or is the pain coming from the memory? It's coming from the memory. It's coming because we sit in it all the time. But Angela, you don't know how much they've hurt me. You don't know how they have betrayed me. Angela, you just don't get it. You think everything is roses. No, I don't think everything is roses. But what I'm saying to you is, we do not end our lives because we want the pain to stop. We change our mood and the pain stops. Our suffering is needless. We don't need to suffer, but we inflict it. You don't think I know what I'm talking about, do you? You think I don't sit here and think about my supposed career that I should have had, but I feel like it was wrenched from my hands? You think I don't think about that? I look at my student debt and I say, oh, what am I paying for exactly? I still can't legally practice my career. You think I don't sit and think about that? And it riles me to no end? I see red, it angers me. Let's not get that twisted. Let's not. I sit here and I tell you these things because I understand. So what do I do in the meantime? I do what I love, which is communicating with people. I've already seen the outcome of what I want. And I've also realized that if I sit and I think that someone has robbed me, then I open myself up to be continually robbed. If they want it, have it. What they cannot do is go into my mind and remove the knowledge. I didn't just take the knowledge. I'm going to say this. The one with 5 talents, I went and I made 10, which means I increased my knowledge. And that can never be taken from me. And so anytime I feel in that fashion and I sit and I remember all of the hours of clinical practicum that I put in, all of the injustice, I remind myself, Angela, yes, I may have gone down that path, but I'm not stuck ever. What can I do? I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. That's what I do. Hello. Because that's what you must do. Because if I sit and I wallow in it, it will not end well for me. Because chances are I'm going to do something stupid. And I'm too sweet for jail. I ain't going to put myself in that kind of position. So when I tell you that the mood you catch yourself in is going to be the hidden dictator of our lives. Sometimes you think that I'm talking to you from this distant place. I'm not. I just don't tell you my business, that's all. Because what good is it? You just need to know that I've got the experience. Because that's where I'm speaking to you from. And some would say, oh, please, that's nothing. So that's why I don't particularly share my intimate details. But I do tell you how I do it, how I come through things, because I also know that you can. Recognize your predominant mood. You know, when you get up in the morning, what's that like? You get up in the morning with a, man, my God, do this again? Do you get up like that? Or do you get up like SpongeBob? I'm ready. Which one is it? Because even though we are in a particular, you want to say a good mood, we're still going to encounter the quote unquote, the jerk. But you don't have to entangle with the jerk. You just have to understand that the jerk also has their own experiences that they are living through. Well, then, Angela, the jerk should be more mature. I understand. But most of us do not understand that it is our mood that dictates our behavior. Because we don't, you see, we don't see the distance between the two things. We don't see the distance between the mood and the action. We don't see those other little things in between. Mood, thought, words, action. We don't see those. We just think they emerged out of nowhere. And that is not the case. So, at any given time, especially when you encounter someone who's cantankerous or persnickety or crass or whatever they are, don't judge them. But remember this, as within, so without. That is their mood that they are wholly unaware of. They're not aware of their mood. And that's why they don't see, because they're not aware. So then we can equate awareness to sight. When you are aware of something, you see it. You know it. So this is why it is important to check your mood. And if your mood puts you in a particular thought process, if you say, Angela, I don't know what my mood is, I will say to you, watch the thoughts. The thoughts are the closest thing to the mood. Yes, they're the closest thing to the mood. So watch the thoughts. What do they make you feel like, those thoughts? When you can recognize what they make you feel like, now you have identified the mood. Get into a different mood. Don't languish and say, but I can't get out of this one. Yet listen, remember yesterday I told you, nothing is sustained forever. The Bible would say it to you that weeping may endure for the night, but joy cometh in the morning, right? That's how the Bible would say it to you. Weeping endures for the night, just for the night, but joy comes in the morning. That tells you the principle of rhythm. There is an ebb and there is a flow. You're not always going to be in the ebb, and you will certainly not always going to be in the flow. You will always move between. You will always ebb, you will always flow. But when you create a habit, if you create a habit of ebb, you're going to predominantly ebb, but you must flow because you will. But if you create a habit of flowing, you will always flow because you will habitually do it. But that does not ever eliminate the ebb. It just means habitually you go to flow all the time. More than you do ebb. But you cannot eliminate ebb. You can't eliminate flow. But you can habitually go to one of them. Because we are comprised of habits. Everything has a pattern. If you want to go on a trip, there's always a pattern of flights. This one leaves at this time every day. There's always a pattern. Your bus route has a pattern. The train route has a pattern. Everything has a pattern. There's a time to do and a time to rest. Ecclesiastes or the Beatles, right? This is what it is. Everything has a pattern. Everything has a rhythm. So do you. You will habitually do that thing you have always done. That's why I tell you it's easy to start habits. Oh, very. You just got to pick something and do it the same way every time. Bam, there's your habit. Some people say, well, it takes 21 days. Not necessarily. You can start that habit a lot sooner. Why? The desire, the way it makes you feel when you do it. The way it makes you feel when you do it can make the habit set faster. Because a habit really is just, if you look at your brain, your habit is just a neurological pathway that you set down through persistently doing the same thing the same way every time. So you see how it could look like your destiny, or how it could look like your life is going a particular way? All it means is that you've done something the same way every time. And I am telling you, you are not prisoner to habit ever. It doesn't matter if your habit is alcohol, if your habit is booze, whatever, uh, weed, if your habit is crack, it does not matter what your habit is. It originated from the same place. You did the same thing the same way every time. So to get free of what you presently experience, one, you require a desire to do so. You have to want to change. If you want to change, that puts you in a mood. And that mood will bring about the thoughts of, wait a minute, I can do this. What would my life be like if I were free of this thing? It brings about that kind of thought. And then it will bring about the kind of action that says, well, if I'm not doing that anymore, what am I doing? Well, I'm going to do this thing. And remember, we always tend to fall back into the old. Why? Because the pathway has been set down. And the only thing that erodes the pathway, well, is Alzheimer's. So that means you're always going to have that thing with you, and it's all right. Because you, listen, as scripture would tell you, the poor are always with you. It doesn't necessarily mean the poor as in people. And lacking money, that's not what it means. It means the thing that you felt like you struggled with is always going to be with you. But once you know that it can no longer rule you, well, then it doesn't matter that it's with you. It's always going to be a memory that you've got. but it no longer rules you. You are the ruler. Habits don't form by themselves. They form because we are deliberate in our actions and persistent in our moods. So today, my beautiful friends, no longer will you languish, meaning you're laying there, you're saying, oh my God, oh, my life is so hard. Oh no, you will never have to say that again. Do you know why you won't have to say that again? Not because you're burying yourself in the bottom of a bottle. No. You're not saying that again. You're not living that again because you now know, wait a minute. I feel that way because that's my mood. Well, let me change my mood. And remember, you can't sustain the mood indefinitely, which means you can't be happy all day. You can't be sad all day. You go between the two. You're happy here, you're sad there. You're happy there, you're sad there. But hello, the one that you habitually feel the most. If you say, I'm sad most of the day, well, then you know what your days will be like. But if you say, I'm happy most of the day, more than I am sad, well, then you already know the type of day you're going to have. Oh, oh my. Come on, baby, sleep in a little bit longer. Snooze for mama. He says, no, mommy, I'll take it outside. So he's outside in the hallway. Say he's singing. Oh, good morning, sir. It never gets old. The more I hear it, the more I love it. Right? So listen. I know that sometimes we're going through it, and we really are. But what you're going through, okay, is that mental mood. But, well, Angela, what if I'm not living in an ideal situation? Okay, that mental mood is right there still. So start changing the mood. You see, now listen. What if you're in a situation where somebody's there? They can't stand that you're happy. Oh, I'm sure we deal with that, don't we? Why are you so happy out tonight? You know how they are. Here's the beauty of something. You don't have to put on a sad face. You don't have to smother your joy either. But you guard your joy like a secret pregnancy that only you know about. Only you. And you know that if you entertain thoughts of freedom, well, let's go back to Harriet Tubman. Some say she existed, some say she did not. I've never met her, so I can't tell you. But what I can tell you that we can draw from is her story, which is she was a slave. Yes, she was. Poorly treated, I might add. But she was a slave nonetheless. But she got up every day, and in the back of her mind, she was like, I will have freedom or I'll have death, but those are both mine. And she walked through every day with that in her bosom. She held it like, you know, the smell that you love that is so familiar. You hold it close to you. Yeah, that's what she did. She held on to that. And because she was in that mood predominantly, because sometimes, when you're working hard, mm, you don't forget, but you just have to go from a mood of leisure now to one of, I got to focus on this work. I got to get it done. So you move from one mood to the next. Never, though, forgetting or relinquishing the truth that is within. She said, freedom is mine. Shoot, she may have known Queen before we did. I want to break free. I want to break free. Right? Maybe she knew Queen before we did. But that was in the back of her mind all the time. And she mulled it over, and that mood gave her an idea. That mood gave her an idea. And that idea made her say something. And those words made her act. And when she ran away, there was a bounty. You know how much that bounty was? Enough money, then, as a Bajan would say. That bounty was enough money. A lot of money. Yeah, enough means a lot, okay? Do you think she was ever captured? Listen, this woman was doing public speaking and she was never captured. Why? Because her focus was one thing. Freedom. Freedom. Shoot, she might have known George Michael and Aretha Franklin, but I digress. That was her focus. And habitually, she went there until the idea emerged from freedom itself, because that's what was within. So what I'm telling you today is where you may be at the moment may seem to be the darkest of places, but this little light of mine, where do you think that light is? You think that light is a candle outside? That light emerges from an ember within you. And that ember is red hot. And the more you blow on it and feed it, it will burst into flame. And it will, not a soap opera, but it will be your guiding light. It will be your guiding light. Where will it guide you? To where you say you want to be, or towards what you say you want to become. So don't forever one moment think that you are in darkness or that you are alone, because you are never alone. Ever. So I remember the Lord of the Rings when she gave him the light. Is it the light of Arendelle or whatever she called it? I don't know. But she gave him the light and said, like, when you're in your darkest moment, you'll have this light. We always have the light within us. We always do. And that light is there because that light is all there is, That light of awareness, you could call it. That light of knowing, if you want to call it that. Or you could just call it light. But we have it within us. And if you remember that, that is the first step in changing your mood. You say, wait a minute. I can overcome this. I can get through this. I got to get through this. I got to get through this. Daniel Bedingfield, come on, guys. Listen, you got to know a thing or two. And when you recognize and you remember that you can get through it, you are no longer looking at your problem. Oh, you're in it. You're in the problem. Don't get me wrong. You're in the problem, but you're not thinking of the problem anymore. You're now thinking from where? You're thinking from freedom. Neville Goddard says you have to think, you have to start living from and not thinking of it. You're not thinking, oh man, I really got to get out of this. You're thinking of it. But when you start to see yourself as free, when you start to entertain the thoughts of freedom and the mood of freedom, you are now from freedom, and freedom is a seed. So if you plant the seed of freedom by entertaining thoughts of freedom, I wonder what your harvest will be, dear sir, dear lady. It can only be one thing: freedom. So you must entertain the thoughts and the mood of freedom more than you entertain the thoughts of captivity. Because you're always going to go back. You're going to be like, I hate where I'm at. It's okay. But don't languish there too long. Start to build the habit of, wait, what would it be like if I were living the life I wanted to? And you begin to entertain that more. Because remember the principle of rhythm. You must ebb and flow, which means you're going to slip back into, poor me. You're gonna. It's all right that you do. But remember, wait a minute. I am free. I just forgot. And now you begin to entertain the thoughts of freedom, the thoughts of peace. Why? Because the more you entertain those, you build the habit of them. And when you build the habit of them, you create your destiny of freedom. So remember, it is all right to ebb and flow because we must. So when you are in the ebb, don't complain about the ebb. Just remember that flow is there. Just remember that. And when you remember that, because it is hidden in your bosom, when you remember that, now you're going to start to feel better. You're going to start to feel the freedom. And when you start to feel the freedom, you say, oh, yes, I like this feeling. And you start walking in it more. You start speaking in it more. Why? Because now that's going to become your predominant mood, your predominant mental state. And you will have more of that than you do of problems. That is my encouragement for you today, my beautiful friends. So when Neville Goddard says that creation is finished, that is what he means. He means your mood dictates the thoughts dictate the words dictate the actions, and those actions will dictate your destiny. Because it can only go one way, which is the way that matches the mood. You don't have to make it happen. You just follow it as it unfolds because of the mood. So creation is finished. It is finished. I wonder who else said it is finished. Right? Anyway, I'm getting all excited here. But I love you. Truly, I do. It doesn't matter what the situation is. You could say, Angela, but I'm bipolar. I want you to look at bipolar and understand it is ebb and flow. Well, one minute you're up, 1 minute, the next you're down. Ebb and flow. Once you begin to recognize what's going on, you will see why ebb and flow happen in bipolar. 1 minute that mood is great, and the next minute that mood is not great. Is it really a problem? Or is it that you don't know what it is? See what I'm saying to you? You just have to look at it and begin to understand what's going on within your own self. Yes, 1 minute you're up, the next you're down. And it's all right to be up and down because it's ebb and flow. We all have that. We all go through those episodes of ebb and flow. 1 minute we're happy, 1 minute we're sad. It's all right. What will you do though? Will you make it a habit of constantly swinging, or will you recognize it and say, wait a minute, which one do I want to be more than the other? And when do I feel it coming on? You see, it's only that when we feel helpless and we feel lost and stuck and don't know what to do, that we spiral. Yeah, I said that. I said that. It's only because we feel lost or stuck and don't know what to do that we spiral. But if you knew what to do and you did it, would you not change the situation? Yes, you would. And it brings with it a sense of peace. But you can't take my word for that, because that would be hearsay. Observation. Right, the better man? Observation. Oh, Wealthy Supreme Rico is in the house. I see you. I see you. Here in these YouTube streets. Ow. Twitter is as Twitter is. But Twitter gets the replays. Twitter gets the replays. Fan base, who's kicking it with us today? Oh, Miss McQueen. Hello, darling. Let me tell you something, Miss McQueen. Lady and Biscuit are on the stairs. Listen, I snatched Lady up last night and put her to sit in my lap. I saw this thing where they said if you put your chicken under your armpit, like how their mothers put them under their wing, they'll calm down. So I did that. And sure enough, I eased my hand off and she snuggled into my lap. It all lasted for like 3 minutes. But you know what else happened? Biscuit decided to jump up there with her mama. I said, "Ooh, we're getting somewhere. You'll be a lap chicken yet, lady." Oh. So, something to be said about persistence. Right, Miss McQueen? That's your girl. Moon and Dolphin Duck. My sweet KZ. Flo smiles. Hello, darling. Girl, I don't know where you find the time, but I appreciate you. Oracle Treehouse. I see you. Oh, Miss Deborah. I see you. Ray Ray. I see you. I love you. I genuinely do. And I think even if I didn't tell you that I loved you, I think you would know. Well, didn't the Extreme say it? Saying I love you are not the words I want to hear from you. Oh, that takes me right back to my junior high days. Oh, God, junior high. Where I was too scared to even dance because I didn't know how to dance. Well, I didn't know how to dance Canadian. I know how to dance Bajan, but they don't play Bajan music. So I didn't know how to dance. But I knew how to sing the song and the harmonies. So I was the wallflower that sang. That's how I made friends because they wanted me to sing to them. Ain't that something? I wanted to make friends, but I was shy Because you know, sometimes it is when you go from Barbados is all black mostly. And then I came here, I'm the only black person. And everybody wants to touch me. I'm like, whoa, whoa, slow your roll. What? I don't know where your hands would be and what you want to touch me for. What? But you know, kids. And I would eat my lunch alone under the tree in the summer. And I was singing Phil Collins. And that's how I made my first friends. Oh my God, you sing so nice. Can you sing this song? And then they became my friends. Living the law, and I didn't know it. Did not know it. I just did what I liked to do. And they came, you know? But that's what I'm saying. That song took me all the way back to that neurological pathway of sitting alone under the tree or leaning against the wall and not having a dance partner. That song took me all the way back there, right? But then there's this one. Hold on, little girl. Show me what he's done to you. Stand up, little girl. You know, that one, Mr. Big. When it's through, it's through. Things betwixt the both of you. Come on over, come on over. Let me be the one to hold. Oh, God, that song is amazing. Anyway, see? Nostalgia all the way back, man. So don't tell me we don't have nostalgic moments. We do. We really do have those moments. And we go back and we feel them all over again. But when you feel them all over again, feel them from a different place now. I'm no longer that little girl. No, I'm no longer that. I'm no longer shy to that extent. Right? So you see it from a different place. That's why I tell you, it's all right to have those memories because we're going to have them. We are. We're going to go back. We're going to look. We're going to reminisce. We are. Where were you when you heard Champion Lover? No, he's off tonight. Miss McQueen. Where were you when you heard Telephone Love? You sound so sweet on the line. Telephone Love. What did she say? You make my day every time. When you call, I feel so good. Wish you were living in my neighborhood. You know, like, that's what I mean. We have these songs that we sing that we have these memories of them, you know? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. We're always going to have these memories that emerge, but feel them from a different place, you know? Feel them from a different place. Big Mike is in the house. Extra boy is in the house. Oh, hey. But that's just what I'm saying to you this morning. We're always going to reminisce. There's a new one. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. There's that one now too, right? But I like this line. Oh, I got my boots on the ground. Baby. I love that one. That riff he does in there. What? Who make you want to dance? See what I'm saying? I hear you, Biscuit. I can hear Biscuit trying to get in here, and my door is open. Oh, but my room has carpet, and my carpet is not protected, and you know she just poops at will. Oh, God. Anyways, listen, y'all. I love you so much. Go through this day and enjoy the beauty that you are. For real, for real. When you see it, you can't unsee it. Ow. Let me go get these chickens, because... Oh. What? Oh, my Lord. They're in my room. Oh, Biscuit and Lady are in my room. I don't know if you can hear them. I don't know if you can hear them. Oh my God, they're so cute. Anyway, anyway, I will see you all on the morrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, fan base, TikTok coming soon, right? God, I love you. You guys are awesome. Go forth and enjoy. Enjoy the beauty of the day, because this beautiful day is emerging from you. Oh, yes, it is. That's just the way it is, baby. She chirps so pretty, little biscuit. Anyway, love you. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you. Much love.